This is going to be a doozy today, so buckle up. I was on a call recently with a dad in our community, successful guy, good father, doing the work, doing everything he knew how to do. He told me something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. And he said, Anthony, I asked him, I said, how you been sleeping, man? He goes, I take medication now. Not because I can't fall asleep, he said, because I wake up at 3 a.m. on most nights and I can't get back down. My mind it just goes. Money, my work, my kids, my future. What if I lose everything? What if I can't recover? What if this is just who I am now? He said, by the time the sun comes up, he's exhausted. The day hasn't even started yet. I want you to know something that dad is not weak. That dad is not broken. That dad is dysregulated. And there is a massive difference between the two. And I want to talk about this pattern. I was in the same pattern as well. I'm going to share a few things from my own experience of what was going on. 3 a.m., it's not random when you wake up then, it's actually biological. So sometimes it's helpful just to know what's going on in our brains, right? Neuroscience will say cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, naturally spikes between 2 and 4 a.m. So for men under chronic stress after divorce, that spike actually activates the brain threat detection system. The amygdala fires, and suddenly every unresolved fear becomes an emergency. If you've been there, you know, man, you wake up and it's like, holy smokes, what just happened? Your brain, it's not lying to you at 3 a.m. It's just running a threat scan with no filter. The problem isn't the thoughts, it's that there's no pattern interrupt installed. There's no system, which is what we walk through and talk through dads in our school group and our clients. Most divorced dads, what happens is they just try and white knuckle through it, scroll their phone or stare at the ceiling, replay conversations, ruminate and ruminate. And it's not rest, it's managed suffering. And doing it alone in the dark makes every fear feel twice as big as it actually is, man. So I want to give you this idea, this picture, this thought of a radio. And I know in today's society that, it's hard to even find a radio these days. My son, who's 16, very interesting. He actually gets in the car and turns the radio on. It's almost shocking to me, but he likes it. So there is this idea of radios. I was recently at Barrett Jackson, and part of in the vendors had these old radios. So I want you to imagine this old radio, and I love those old ones. They're like 4 or 5 feet tall. They're wooden. I mean, they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. But I want you to picture a radio with bad reception late at night. Okay, get that picture in your head. It's a radio with bad reception, and gosh, it's annoying, right? Static everywhere, noise, interference, distortion. You can't make out the signal through the noise. And so you keep turning the dial, trying to find clarity, but the static gets louder. And that's what your brain is like at 3 a.m. Divorce left this frequency jammed. Every unresolved fear, every financial worry, every question about your kids, it's all broadcasting at once. It's at static. You don't need more willpower to sleep through the static. You definitely don't need drugs to sleep through the static. You need to change the frequency. That's what the reset does. Those of you that are new here, I want to give you two things. If this is helpful, if this has been a nudge, if this is bringing you in the right directions, drop a sub, drop a follow if you're on Apple or Spotify. Follow, and I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. Share this with somebody. Why? When you drop a follow, when you share it, when you do that, it helps other dads find this. The algorithm goes crazy, goes nuts. Every follow puts this episode in front of another dad lying awake tonight, maybe thinking he's the only one. He's not. Just a couple clicks, guys. That's all it takes. We'll give him help and hope. Do it now. Do it right now. Just boom, boom. Do it now. And let's get into this tool, all right? Here's the tool. 3 a.m. What do? I want to give you this reset. It takes less than 5 minutes. The first thing that you do is get vertical. Don't stay horizontal. The body reads lying down during panic as trapped. So that's the first thing. Get horizontal. Sit up, stand up, immediately changes your nervous system posture. You're not getting up for the day. You're changing your physical state. And the body leads the mind always. We talk about this state, story, and strategy. We're going to change your state. We got to change it. Get up. I know for me, what I've learned is that so many times I would lay there and just think I was going to will my way back to sleep. It wouldn't work. What I've done even more recently, there's times when I wake up and I've turned that into a walk. I've turned it into going and reading. I've turned it into those things. But here's something else that you have to understand. This is huge. This is important. This is step 2. Because until you create a system and a strategy for this, guys, it's not going to stop. Popping pills is not the answer. You know that. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help your body. It's not going to help your actual sleep. So the next thing you got to do is name the fears out loud. And those of you that have had this happen before, you already know what they are. These aren't new. These are, get them out of your head, out loud or written down. I would say write them down. And what we do in our group and things, we talk about, guys, writing them down, knowing what they are, and then knowing what to do next. So some of these are, I'm afraid of, say it 3 times of this fear. I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of losing my business. I'm afraid of losing my children. I'm afraid of maybe it's a court thing. And the moment you name it, you take back partial control. Psychologists will call this affect labeling. Naming an emotion reduces its intensity immediately in your brain. That's what's going on. We gotta, I say this, a lot of times on this podcast, get it out of your pockets. Get the junk out of your pockets and put it somewhere that you can look at it and you can see it and you can analyze it. You're not solving the fear. You're shrinking it enough so you can breathe. So here's the 3rd step. And then there's one more step after this. Step 3 is a truth statement. Not just affirmations, one specific truth about who you are right now. Something you know to be real. For instance, I have survived every hard day so far. I am still alive. I am still breathing. Maybe it's my kids have a dad who's fighting for them. Maybe it's I have been here before and I'm still standing. One sentence said out loud anchors you back to reality. Here's step 4. And before we get to step 4, step 3 is so important because when you're tired and it's 3 a.m, this isn't the time to create the strategy. The strategy and the system is already needs to be in place. This needs to happen during the day, at night before bed, that you're prepared and you're planned for when this happens. It's not if it happens, guys. It's when it happens. Hey, I used to wake up the same. Fear of failure, fear of not being enough, fear of nobody liking me, nobody caring about me, all of these different fears that I had. And I'd get up and I'd have to start saying these things over my life. I am the head, not the tail. When I am weak, God is my strength. I have a great future and a great hope. I am gonna get some great rest and some great sleep. I set my mind on what God says about me, right? So here's 4. And I was starting to get into it there, but 4 is breathe and pray. Breathe and pray. If you're a faith-driven man, this is your 60 seconds with God or longer. I know for me, I tend to read my Bible because it rests my mind and it actually forces me to go back to sleep. When I read my Bible many times at night, I get so tired. You don't need to make a long prayer. It could be just one honest sentence. I don't have this figured out, Lord, but you do. I need your help. When you read through the Psalms, 30% of them are literally David crying out to God, saying, Lord, help me. I need you right now. And that's as simple as it has to be. If you're not there yet, just if you're breathing, if that's the thing, breathe. The goal isn't to solve it at 3 a.m. It's to move through it. And these systems are going to be something that you can take tonight. Get them out, get them ready, get them prepared. You know the thoughts that are coming. You know what they sound like. And it's building out, what am I going to say about myself after this? What does God's word say about me in this situation? What is the man that I'm becoming? What is the man that I have done and have accomplished? Right? We are building out a script for you and your life so that when this comes, you have a few minutes, you wake up, you have a little walk, you read, you pray, you breathe, you go back to sleep. And as you do that, you will rewire your brain to be able to be not just restful, but peaceful as you sleep and as you wake. Here's what the scripture says. Psalms 94 says, when anxiety was great within me, Your consolation brought me joy. David wrote Psalms. David knew all about 3 a.m.s, man. He wasn't writing from a place of peace. He was writing from this pit, from this destruction. The comfort didn't come from having answers. It came from not being alone in the dark. And guys, you're not alone in the dark. I want you to know that you're not alone going through this. As crazy as the situation may be, you're not alone. This isn't a new thing. You're breathing and you're going to get through this. You are a leader. Greatness is inside of you. This is your moment. This is your story. And you are going to write it. And you're going to build it in a way that is unlike anything else. Listen, very quickly, drifters, listen carefully. They survive 3 a.m. by waiting for the morning. They white knuckle through it, exhaust themselves, and carry the weight of it every hour of the next day. But builders interrupt 3 a.m., not because they figured it out, because they've decided the spiral doesn't get to write the story. They're firing the old script writers. They're writing new scripts. They're writing new strategies. The reset isn't a cure. It's a declaration. I'm still here. I'm still building. And this spiral does not own me. If this episode hits you in any way, guys, listen carefully. Share it with a dad who knows he's laying awake at night. He might not tell you about 3 a.m., but you might know what's happening. A couple of clicks gives him help and hope that's worth more than you know. Follow on Spotify, subscribe on Apple, drop a comment. I read them all. I love hearing from you guys. If you're ready to stop surviving 3 a.m. alone, start rebuilding, get into our Ascent group, and in particular, get into the Climb. It's our private community. It's with me. We have our free community, and we have another private community. I encourage you to do something you've never done before so you can get the results you've never had before. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.